PWS students. We are some of the members of the new news team. I am Akshara.
And I am Lily.
We want to tell you a little bit about ourselves.
My favorite color is aqua.
My favorite animal is a frog.
Actually, now that you said frog, I remember Mrs. Clark talking to us about a frog named Kelso at the beginning of the year.
It seems as though a reminder of his choices would be helpful to the students at PWS now that we are halfway through the school year.
Let's hear what Mrs. Clark has to say about this.
Hi, I'm Molly from Channel 180 News Team, here interviewing Miss Clark about Kelso's choices. What are Kelso's choices?
Kelso's Choices are a tool that we use to help us solve small problems or conflicts so that we can learn to be problem solvers and solve them on our own.
Which ones work best in most situations?
Well, it depends on the situation and it depends on the student, but in most situations there are more than one choice that you could make. So we often tell kids to use the ones that you're comfortable with, and if one doesn't work, try another one. And if that doesn't work, try another one, and then you can always go and ask an adult for help.
What is the difference between going to a teacher and using Kelso's Choices?
We want students to go to an adult and ask for help if they have a big problem that's scary or dangerous or they're trying to help someone. We want them to use the Kelso's Choices when it's a small problem that they could solve themselves, and we want them to learn to be problem solvers. And we don't want kids to be tattling or to trying to get someone in trouble. So that's why we would use the Kelso's Choices.
Thank you. Let's see a skit on how you can use Kelso's Choices.
Hey, that was my jump rope. Can I have it back?
Nah, come and get it.
What would Kelso do? Maybe talk it out or take turns might work. Hey, can I have my jump rope back? I was using it and you took it from me.
Nah.
Maybe we could take turns?
Well, okay. You can have it first.
Thanks. Remember to do 2 Kelso's Choices before going to adult. Wow, I didn't know a frog could be so helpful.
Actually, in Bolivia, there is one frog that is the last of its kind.
That's right. There are many interesting events happening around our world as we speak.
Did you know that a frog named Romeo is the only one left in his kind? He is a Seneca's water frog, but recently they found another one like him. Researchers from the Global Wildlife Conservation and the museum called Museo de Historia Natural have been studying these frogs in Bolivia.
Alyssa Liu is a marvelous ice skater only at the age of 12. She won the Geico Women's Championship. At the age of 10, she became the youngest intermediate ice skating figure in U.S. history.
Frank Robinson, a Baseball Hall of Famer, recently passed away on February 7, 2019. He was 87 years old. He earned many awards, like MVP, known as Most Valuable Player, and Rookie of the Year. Many other awards were also given to him.
A tiny Dracula ant now holds the record for the fastest animal movement. It can snap its jaws at the speed of 200 miles per hour. This creature lives in Australia, Asia, and Africa.
The endangered species, the black leopard, has been caught on camera in Kenya. These creatures have been found in Africa nearly a century ago. 11% of black leopards are found in Southeast Asia.
Did you know that there is currently a snow and ice festival in China? This is the largest snow and ice festival in the world. This festival made up of massive and beautiful structures. This spans over 60,000 square meters.
Those events were very interesting. I like the one about the ice skater because it inspired me to learn how to ice skate.
I like the one about the ice festival. They must get a lot of snow there.
We haven't had a lot of snow this year in Bedford until recently.
I wonder who decides when there's a snow day here at PWS.
I have a feeling Amelia and Kelsey have the answer for us.
Hi, I'm Kelsey. And I'm Amelia. Today we're interviewing Mr. Fournier. What is a superintendent?
Well, thank you, Kelsey and Amelia, for having me on your show. This is the first time I've been on a student show like this. So what is a superintendent? So the superintendent, he or she is the head of a school district, the chief executive officer, who works very closely with the school board, which in Bedford is a group of 5 individually elected people, citizens of Bedford. And I also work with school principals and teachers, and my primary job is to make sure the district runs smoothly, fairly, that everyone stays safe, and that we have an excellent instructional program. So that's sort of the big job of the superintendent.
Do you have any pets?
I do have pets. So our family, let's start with, so we have a dog. His name is Bennett. We named him after Martellus Bennett, who was a football player for the Patriots. I think he's retired now. But he's 2 years old, and he's a Labrador Retriever, and so he's a member of our family. We also have a cat. I think she's 5 years old. Her name is Bonkers, and we named her Bonkers because when she was a kitten, she just was kind of bonkers. Like, she ran everywhere, up and down the furniture. And then, this is interesting, we have 9 chickens. So we had 5 chickens, and then at the end of February, we got 4 more. And so we have 4 little chicks, and their names are Lucy, Ethel, Laverne, and Shirley. I don't know if you know who those characters are from TV shows, but your parents might. So 9 chickens.
Wow, that's a lot of pets. Do you have any kids?
We do have kids. So my wife and I have 3 kids. So our oldest, his name is Aaron. He's 21. He is a junior at Southern New Hampshire University. And so he lives at home and commutes back and forth. And he's also really big into CrossFit. So he coaches at our CrossFit gym. And then Andrew is a sophomore in college at Grand Canyon University in Arizona. And he is studying 2 things, ministry and elementary education right now. And then Emma is a sophomore at Bedford High School.
How long have you lived in Bedford?
So our family has lived in Bedford for 15 years, and actually all 3 of my kids went through Peter Woodbury School.
How do you decide if it's a snow day?
So deciding a snow day can be kind of complicated sometimes, but I'll tell you the process. So I usually wake up between 4 and 4:30 in the morning. And the first thing I do is I call the Department of Public Works, and I talk to the people who plow the roads, and I ask them how the roads are, if they're being treated, what they look like, and if they're dangerous, if they're slippery, if they're clear. I also sometimes call the police department and ask them if there's any accidents and what they think the roads look like. Sometimes I actually talk to the weatherman, a meteorologist, and ask them about the weather and when it's going to start or stop. And then I talk to other superintendents in the area, get their sense, and I talk to the bus company to get a sense if the buses can be out on time. And then sometimes I talk to our maintenance people to make sure we can get plowed out on time. And then finally, I have to make a decision, and I usually make the decision by 5 o'clock or 5:10 so that I can notify everyone by 5:15.
What's your favorite part of your job?
So the favorite part of my job, honestly, are things like this. Like being with you guys, spending time with you, getting to know kids better, and being in the schools. I like the part of my job that takes place at the central office, but some of that grown-up work can get boring sometimes. And so it's nice to be in the schools, interacting with teachers and students and moms and dads and being part of the community. I like that the best.
Thank you, Mr. Fournier.
Mr.
Fournier sounds like he's a hard-working superintendent. I'm sure he's doing a great job.
Yes, we are so lucky to have him in charge of our schools.
Lucky reminds me of St. Patrick's Day coming up this weekend.
We hope you find yourselves lucky on the 17th of March. See you in April!